Hello, book besties. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Delaney if you are new here, and we are starting a cozy holiday reading vlog. I'm so excited. We're going to be reading holiday / Christmas books for probably about a week. I'm going to see how many I can cram into this video, and I'm excited that it's finally the time of year for the fluffy, cheesy holiday reads. And I know where we're starting, and because I've already started it. We're reading One Day in December, and it is technically November still while I'm starting this book, but we're going to pretend that it's December because I feel like I'm doing something wrong reading this book not in December, but it's fine. We're close enough. I'm probably like 30% of the way through this at this point, and it's fun. I'm enjoying my time reading it. We have Lori, who one day in the past, I can't remember what year it is. I want to say like 2008, but I don't know why I want to say that. She sees a man on the train and they have like sparks fly. It is just like this instant knowing when their eyes meet that they are meant to be together, that they are soulmates. And then the train takes this man away. So she goes on this hunt trying to find this man because she's like, I know that's my soulmate. Like just that inner knowing is so prevalent with her. Doesn't find him, is searching everywhere, sees him in everybody, but like can't pinpoint him. And then years later at a Christmas party, her best friend introduces Lori to her boyfriend, Jack. And Jack is the man from the train that is now dating her best friend. Clearly a very complicated situation. So we kind of have that love triangle-ish. Lori doesn't want her best friend to know. Very complicated, kind of morally ambiguous at times so far, but very heavy on like that soulmate trope and just kind of like the when you know type trope. So it's fun. It's feeling flirty, and not even flirty. It's feeling cozy, like warm-hearted, cozy romance is kind of the vibe of this. So perfect for this time of year, and I'm enjoying it so far. I can't remember if I've read another Josie Silver book. Her name sounds really familiar. I know she just wrote like Halloween reads that I didn't end up getting to this past year, but I can't remember if I've read another Christmas book by her. I want to say I have, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. That's beside the point. We are reading this. I'm about 30% of the way through. That's the setup as of now. It's fine so far. I'm enjoying it, feeling very 3-star-ish. I feel like that's how I can gauge how I feel about a book, is I give a star rating, even though it's not my official star rating. Right now the vibes are 3-star. So that is good. I will keep you posted as I continue reading. I have a massive headache. I need to go get some coffee. I woke up way too early, did not sleep enough, and my head is killing me. So I'm gonna go caffeinate, try to get this headache to go away, and I will talk to you when I have an update. I have 2 updates for you. The first update is on One Day in December. I'm now like 65% of the way through and I'm bored. It only just recently, like literally like 10 minutes ago while I was reading, it started to pick up. But there's like that whole middle section where I was just so painfully bored and not really rooting for any romance here. Like the main character has a romance separate of her best friend's boyfriend, obviously, and I'm not rooting for them because I know her heart is partially with Jack is his name, right? Yes, I just like can't even keep their names straight. Like I don't care. I don't care. And I'm not rooting for her with her boyfriend that she has now because I know that she's in love with Jack, but I'm not rooting for her and Jack because her best friend is dating Jack, but I'm not rooting for her best friend and Jack because obviously like it's messy. It's very messy, and I don't feel like I want anyone to be together in this book. Picking up now, and I will say because I don't want anyone to be together, and I think that's likely intentional on the author's part, I am curious about the ending and kind of where we'll go from there. So not entirely sure what to expect with the rest of this book, but as of now, I just am not feeling the romance vibes for any of the characters. Like I'm just not rooting for anybody. Which normally my favorite part of a holiday romance is like a giddy, like fun, festive romance that like I'm really rooting for the main characters. This one is not at all feeling that way, and so it's missing that aspect that I tend to like the most in my holiday books, if that makes sense. So that book aside, I'm gonna move forward and continue finishing it. But I also, spur of the moment, I saw Elsie Silver post on her Instagram story that she has a Chestnut Springs Christmas novella on her website. So I like signed up for her email list, got the novella, sent it to my Kindle, and I read it in like 30-45 minutes last night. It was so cute. I gave it a 3.5 star. I wish it was longer, and I wish it was a little less. It felt like it was kind of just pure smut. But if you've read Chestnut Springs, you know the sexual tension between all the couples is like palpable in all the books. So it made sense in terms of like just them and the Chestnut Springs world, but it was so good to be back in Chestnut Springs. They literally feel like family. Like it feels like coming home reading an extra little novella from them. I'm obsessed with every single character in that book. Even the books that I didn't love, I loved seeing the couples. Like it truly feels like family, and like you have your beef with like different family members and you're like, I don't love that trait about you, and like you're kind of annoying when you do this, and that's just kind of obnoxious, but you love them so deeply. And like even Rhett, who I really didn't like in the first book, I love him as a side character, and I loved him in the novella, and it just felt so comforting to see them all again. So highly recommend, if you have read the Chestnut Springs series. If you haven't finished it yet, there will be spoilers. Highly recommend. It's only 5 chapters. It's a point of view from all the 5 male main characters, and it just was so heartwarming to be back in Chestnut Springs. I love them so much. So that is the update as of now. We are still cruising. That is like a book and a half that we've read so far, and we're only a couple days into this. So we are doing really well. So I will keep you posted. Probably next time I'll check in, I will have finished One Day in December is my hope. I'm trying to get through that because I have other books that I'm ready to dive into. This one's just, I probably, if I wasn't vlogging, I probably would have DNF'd it. That's what I'm gonna say. So I am committed to finishing it because I've already started yapping about it with you guys and I can't leave you hanging. So I will be finishing it. Hopefully it continues on this upward trajectory. Like I said, it just kind of started to pick up. So hopefully the ball keeps rolling in a positive direction, and I will update you. Fingers crossed the last third-ish is really good. All right, final update on One Day in December. I finished it. I gave it a 2-star. I didn't like it. I feel really bad because the idea was there, and like the soulmate, whimsical, like it's just a romantic premise of like you see someone and you just have this internal knowing that like you're meant to be with them. I love that. But one thing about me is I am a love triangle hater, and I will hate a love triangle every single time that I read it. I never can root for a couple when there's infidelity, or like you just are feeling caught in a really morally gray and kind of just morally wrong, to be totally honest, situation. I'm never gonna be like, yeah, I'm so team this couple when there's like questionable morals at risk. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just didn't find myself rooting for them. I really liked the friendship and I like the sisterhood elements in this book. But even that, like she just wasn't a great friend. And I had a hard time respecting the couple, and I think they tried to have like their redemption moment for poor behavior, and I wasn't falling for it. I wasn't a huge fan. Also just felt very slow and very boring for the most part. Not my favorite. So 2 stars on that one. Not off to the best start, but at least Chestnut Springs was a good Christmas read. I am excited to jump into what I think is going to be the next read, and that is Good Spirits. I got this as my book of the month pick for December, and I'm very excited. I'm looking at my shelf. Yes, she is the author of Love Light Farms as well. I know she's the author of First Time Caller, but I was like, I feel like I've read a Christmas book by her, and it's Love Light Farms, which I thought was really cute. This one is kind of like paranormal-ish, like magical realism-ish. She is visited by the ghost of Christmas past, I believe. Yes, he's come back to haunt her. So very excited to see like I think it's a romance. It looks like a romance. Excited to see the romance meets like magical realism style in a Christmas book. So I am hoping this will be really good. I have the audio version, and I also obviously have the hardcover here. So I will be diving into this one shortly. I'll update you with my thoughts and everything, but I wanted to close out One Day in December. I'm very glad that it is done, and it's December 1st when I finished it. So it ended up being kind of a December read. One day in December, December 1, you know? No one else probably thinks that's as cool as I do. But that's the update. 2 stars on that one. Jumping into Good Spirits, most likely. I did get sent another Christmas book that is really looking intriguing. I think it's called A Cozy Holiday. So leaving my options somewhat open, but Good Spirits is really intriguing me. So I think I'm going there next. Either way, you will find out probably in the next clip. So I will talk to you soon. All right, you guys, I was just out in the rain, so ignore my hair. It's probably a little bit like drowned rat status, but I am reading Good Spirits. I can't remember if I knew that I was starting this last time I talked to you. I think I had a strong feeling I was going in this direction, but I wasn't sure. I did start Good Spirits. I'm about 50% of the way through, and it's slow. It's like I'm having a hard time reading it and having a hard time getting into it. I'm not actively disliking it by any means, but it's like I have a hard time, one, wanting to pick it up, and when I am listening or reading to it, my mind wanders. Like I'm not fully in it. Essentially, we have a woman who is just like Christmas spirit embodied, and she's very people pleaser, very like above and beyond for the people she loves. Kind of a lot like I feel in my day-to-day life, and she is visited by the ghost of Christmas past for, essentially he's visiting her because she has like a history that needs to be unraveled and kind of mended, apparently. So we have like that grumpy sunshine trope because he's like the ghost of Christmas past, kind of like not Scrooge-ish, but kind of, and she's like Christmas spirit, like totally in the holiday vibes, very sweet, very kind-hearted. And then we also have kind of like the time travel trope. They are going into both of their pasts and kind of looking at themselves in their history and seeing how their pasts are kind of intertwined, which has been the part I'm most interested in, is I want to know what this connection is that they have and why he's visiting her. It seems like there's almost a mix-up and like no reason why he should be visiting her in particular. So there has to be a reason, and I want to know why. It's kind of giving, I put in my notes on my phone, it's kind of giving like Ashley Poston vibes. Think like 7-Year Slip, time travel-y, kind of that magical realism element, which is the part that I'm enjoying the most. I don't know what it is about how it's written that I'm just not feeling fully invested yet, but I do like the premise and I like the idea behind the story. There was one quote in here that kind of embodies our female main character, and I wrote it down because I wanted to talk about it. It says, "Helpful, easy, accommodating. I've given all of myself to the people around me, broken myself down into minuscule pieces to be exactly what everyone else has needed. I've tried to shape myself to other people's expectations, but it's only ever left me broken in the end." First of all, yes. Second of all, that is just like sums up our female main character. She bends over backwards for all the people in her life and feels kind of like she's lost herself in the process. So I really like her. I'm really connecting to her. I'm liking the magical realism elements. There's just something about this book that I'm struggling to focus when I read it, but I do feel like it's picking up now, kind of at like that 50% mark. So hopefully we continue on that upward trajectory. I think kind of the setup was a little slow in the beginning, but now that we're in the heart of it, I think we are going to see kind of a turnaround. That's my hope, at least. So that's the update. As of now, I wanted to touch base, and I will touch base with you again when I either finish or read a little bit more. We'll see. Hello besties, I am back with 2 updates. This vlog has been kind of disorganized, and by that I mean very disorganized, and I'm chopping my head off. I have been reading in like such a weird way. I've been reading longer Christmas books, inevitably getting bored at like the 40% mark in them, picking up Christmas novellas and reading them in between whilst still reading Christmas books, and then having 2 books to talk to you guys about. So I apologize for the chaos. I'm going to try to keep it organized in this talking clip, but it's just been a weird month of reading so far, and we're only 5 days in, so who knows where to go from here. But anyways, I finished Good Spirits. I am sitting here I'm sick yet again for the second time in the past month. And so I'm just having a super chill day doing my little Christmas puzzle, and I was sorting puzzle pieces and I listened to the end of Good Spirits, and the ending was good. I liked how it was all kind of tied up in this neat little bow at the end. And the premise was good. The characters were well developed and like very likable, I felt like. I hate saying this because I feel like I say it a lot, but I feel like the book should have been shorter. I think it could have been a lot more concise, and I feel like 60% of the smut scenes could have been removed. Once I got past the 50% mark, I felt like a lot of the book became smut, and I am a fan of tasteful smut. Like, I don't mind that at all in books, but it felt excessive towards the second half of this book, and I was just found myself wanting to skip through the reading and like wanting to skim the book because I was like, I just am over it. I'm over it. I want more of the actual plot. It felt like it crossed the line from relationship building tactic and like tasteful romantic moments to just being smut, to have smut in the book. Like, it felt like an author finally gave herself permission to write smut and was just having a field day with it. That is probably not accurate, but that's how it felt reading it. You can see the light in my glasses, can't you? It is only noon and it literally looks like it's 5 p.m. outside. It is so dark. So I had to use my little clip-on ring light, but you can probably see the reflection in my glasses. So sorry about that. And yes, I'm in my Post Malone Home Alone Christmas sweater. So we're just really, really vibing over here. My hair is fresh out of the shower. It's a whole thing. Anyways, the book itself was okay. I'm nervous to say this because I feel like it's the most loved Christmas book I've seen within the past couple years. Honestly, I feel like everyone's loving it. Some people are saying it's even their favorite romance of the entire year. I did not have that experience. Kind of a bummer in that aspect, but that's okay. I wouldn't say I disliked it. I'm thinking a 3 or a 3.5 star. I literally finished this like a minute before picking up the camera, so I haven't confirmed my rating, but I'm thinking 3 to 3.5 star. I'll put the final rating on the screen when I'm editing this so you know where I landed on that. But yeah, it was okay. It was okay. Jumping into the other book that I went ahead and read in one sitting last night. Well, 1.5 sittings, because I started it technically the night before and I read the first chapter and fell asleep. And then yesterday, when I first felt like I was coming down with something, I just took a moment and sat on the couch and read the rest of the book in literally one sitting. And it was so good. It was so fast paced. It was only like 190 pages, so it's not that impressive that I read it in one sitting, but it is a single dad nanny trope. Very Christmassy. Her family owns a vineyard and they turn it into like this Christmas wonderland, so that part was fun. Also forced proximity. She moves in with him when she's taking care of his baby. And professional sports romance. So he's a professional hockey player and it's his teammate is the brother of the female main character, and he's in need of a nanny, and his teammate finds out and he's like, hey, my sister is like really good with kids. She has her degree in like childhood development. Like, she's honestly overqualified to be a nanny and maybe she would want to work for you. She's in between jobs looking for work. So she takes the nanny job. They move in together and he just like seeing her with his baby girl falls in love with her. That's one of my favorite tropes I think I'm learning, is watching a man look at a woman caring for his child and like seeing the maternal instincts in her and just falling in love with that. And it's so, there's something so sweet about it, in addition to him being like such a sweet father to begin with. So I loved it. I really, really did. For being under 200 pages, the ending was a little bit rushed, but I feel like that it has to be when you're writing a book that short. And I honestly would prefer my Christmas books to feel rushed than to feel kind of like Good Spirits felt, where it feels too long and too dragged out. So I liked the short pacing, and even though it felt rushed at the end, I feel like the author did a really great job of building tension through the beginning portion of the book with very minimal page count. Like, it was interesting and really impressive kind of how she built almost like this slow burn feeling tension whilst being under 200 pages in a very quick read. So I keep hearing weird noises. I think it's my dog. I don't know. I gave that one 3.5 stars, rated solely on vibes. There were like minute things that you could pick apart in the reading, like things were repetitive, or like if you wanted to get really nitpicky, you could, but it was just fun. It was the perfect Christmas read. So 3.5 stars for me. Really enjoyed that. And yeah, I think that's my main update for this video. I'm gonna wrap it up here because I need a break from Christmas books at this point. I'll probably take a couple weeks off. We're only in the very beginning of December, so I'll take a week or two off and then maybe read a couple more Christmas books before the end of the season. So if you want to see a part 2 vlog, let me know. I'll probably read 2 to 3 more books. I have to read one for my Patreon, I know for sure. But then in addition to that, I'll probably be reading a couple more as we get actually closer to Christmas. So let me know if you want to see more holiday reads, if you enjoy like the cozy holiday reading vlogs, and I'd be happy to do that. But as of now, we're wrapping it up for this video. Thanks for hanging out with me, and make sure you're subscribed here so you don't miss any future videos, Christmas related or not. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye, book besties.